Access granted.
Alright, I'm really interested in this subject logon ID, right? Okay, so here we go. We're gonna create a custom view. Okay, cool. I need the information. I need this information on my left hand side. That's why I'm doing this. Alright, so if we filtered by the GUI, there's no way for us to filter by that subject logon ID. So we'll be switching to XML view, right? This is what it looks like. Because this is from my this is a saved file, the path is gonna look different from when you're working on your host machine. You're not gonna have this long path, right? But I have that because that's where the file is located. It's actually in my downloads folder. All right, so I'm gonna click on there, say edit query manually, and yes. Okay, so here we go. Here's the fun part. I'm gonna say event data, event data, event data. I just like to be neat. What did I do? Curly brace? Okay, no. Event data, data. I still find this super weird, but this is what they say to do. At name equal subject logon ID that's the name, right? Subject logon ID, close that, and I'll say equal. Did I copy that? Control V. No, I did not copy that. Let me see if it'll let me copy, because okay, no, it won't. Okay, OX3 D8 E8 DB. Boom. All right. And then make sure to close everything, square brackets. Make sure everything is good. Okay, so now we're tracing that particular logon ID. Let's see what happens. Okay, new view, logon ID. ID 0x3D AE 8 DB. Okay, cool. So now we have the four events linked to that particular logon ID, starting from 8:37 a.m. Okay, so let's see what this user did, starting from 8:37. Subject username is Bob. Okay, that's the logon ID. Yes. Okay, so let's start from the event ID. Event ID 4738. 4738, a user account was changed, right? A user account was changed, 4738. Leading up to 4742, which was 4742, a computer account was changed. Okay, all of this happening within a short amount of time, from 8:37 a.m. to 9:01 a.m. While not necessarily suspicious, it does set off some alarms, because looking at attributes, attributes are empty. If you look at it, if you go to general details, all these attributes, changed attributes, nothing is listed. All of these changed attributes, nothing is listed. So in my humble opinion, this suggests something that shouldn't be going on is going on, because it's suspicious that even though a user account was changed 3 times, and finally a computer account linked to the same user was changed within this short amount of time, means that something is going on, and yet the changes are not listed. Not even a password reset. No. That means there's something going on, and most likely this account has been targeted for lateral movement across a network. So we've covered a lot. And at this point, I'd just like to go over step by step how we got here. We started off with event IDs 4738 and 4742. Step 1 in this process is knowing what the event ID means. In our case, event ID 4738 means a user account was changed. A legitimate action that may trigger this alert would be an admin changing a user's password, unlocking a user's account, or changing attributes to that user's account. The other event ID 4742, that means a computer account was changed. Again, we have legitimate actions that may cause an alert to be triggered under this event ID. For example, administrators changing computer account credentials, or assigning attributes to a computer account, and so forth. This brings us to step number 2. Why are these events suspicious? In our case, we have back-to-back modifications for a single user account in a short period of time. User account name is Alice, and we see back-to-back modifications, but no changed attributes listed for this user. Another thing that catches my attention is the computer account and the user account are modified at the same time, more or less the same time. This to me is suspicious, unless Bob is performing some kind of domain administration. This would be worth looking into further, which leads us to our next step, step 3. Step 3 is where it gets interesting. In step 3, we attempt to answer the question, what do these indicators mean? In our case, it could mean one, Bob's account was compromised, and the attacker is now using Bob's account to modify Alice's account for lateral movement across the domain. It could also just be a benign and administrative action that caused this, such as a domain admin running account refreshes across the domain. It could also mean that an attacker is testing Active Directory write permissions by running a script, hence the fields showing up as empty when when we evaluate these logs. So it may call for further investigation, or or depending on what you have, your investigation may end right there, as if it turns out to be benign, a benign action. Step 4. What makes this not normal? What warrants a further investigation in our case? For me, I'd say it's the empty changed attribute fields. That stands out to me because in normal domain administration activities, you'd expect to see something listed, something such as a password reset listed, account unlock listed, anything, but to see nothing should surely raise a red flag. It could mean that something was changed via script, such as set AD user, set AD computer, or something modified in the Active Directory GUI through Active Directory users and computers, but for some reason it is not logged. So this warrants a further investigation into the event. All of this brings us to step 5, confirming maliciousness. How exactly do we do that? Well, if we go back to our event logs, each event has attributes attached to it. As we look over these attributes, we'll identify key attributes that will help us investigate further. For example, in our case, I believe we used subject username or target username to help investigate further. Another attribute we could use is logon ID. The logon ID is a randomly generated value that assigns a user's logon session and tracks a user's activities for the entirety of the session, such that if you track an event by logon ID, most likely you'll see the point that the user logged in to the point that they logged off, and everything that they did in between. And that's a good way to correlate events performed by a user. And also, shout out to you if you've made it this far in the video. You know what they say, time is money, and I do not take your time for granted at all. And it is my sincerest hope that you have got value in return for your time, and in that way make this right here, you have made it a fair exchange, no robbery, if you got value from it. If not, please do leave your comments in the comments below. I'd like to know how to make this better for you, and better for myself as well. I would like to hear from experts in the comments below in case I misspoke on anything or I was not clear enough on some of the things we touched upon today. But other than that, man, I had fun doing this. I had fun putting this together for you. I hope you enjoy watching it as well. As always, there will be a part 2 to this, so look out for that. We are still on Windows logs heavy, and this is just the foundation. And I would like to build a strong foundation before moving forward. Yeah, man. So till the next one, peace and one love.